Hello everyone, this is Soul17. Let me first like usual. I not own the pictures. I made the thumbnail, non-paid video. Alright, okay. You're about to hear a microwave because I forgot to get the timer off. So, yeah, someone asked for this part 2. So I'm basically gonna make this and then probably knock this part 2. Well, Naruto's Powers part 2 tomorrow. Or should I say later today because it is basically 2:53. I kind of just was trying to do some stuff, and yeah, kind of lost track of time. So, anyways, let's go through this. Let me just get through the little flashback of what I would call it, or just recap. So, Izuku died to Bakugo. Bakugo, thought he killed Izuku by blowing him up. Izuku came back for the darkness. The darkness is a quirk. So even if Izuku dies, he'll just come back to life. All for One is his dad. Izuku doesn't really care. He's emotionless. I really did rush a lot of stuff in this. In part 1. So, yeah. Anyways. Basically, Izuku, loses friends over the years. He's friends with Mineta. Mineta is the person that reads and studies and didn't want to become a hero, but he's actually gonna try. He's gonna have to try for general studies and for hero course. So yeah, he's still gonna be in the hero. He's not gonna be in much of the hero fight activity, but he's still gonna be training to become a hero. Which the general studies kids may some of them be jealous of him, some won't. So yeah, Bakugo basically works with the Vatican. They kind of changed. They only keep an eye on Izuku, not try to kill him. Momo basically is the Angelus. The Angelus basically, met Izuku. Basically Izuku changed Momo personality because she wanted to be independent, which her parents didn't want her to be. They just were using her, and so they're having another kid. And Angelus fell in love with Izuku because of his innocence and purity, even though he has a darkness. Which, Izuku is emotionless, but because of Momo and basically the Angelus, he's getting his emotions back slowly and such. And, Bago is dating Cammy. Like I said, I rushed a lot, so there's gonna be probably a little drama. Maybe I don't like much drama, so probably very few times. But oh yeah, Eri, he saved her, so there's gonna be that overhaul scene sometime in the future. Aizawa is technically his father, his stepdad, even though. And Momo was adopted into basically the Aizawa/Midoriya family. They already know about her feelings towards Izuku. They're just saying, we adopt you, you're not related, it's okay. And yeah, and basically they did the exam, they did the written portion, the ballot portion, and they got to UA, so we basically are just gonna go right into that. Right. So, we're basically starting off when basically they're on a bus to UA. So Mom was like, Izuku. He's like, yeah? Can you tell me how you're not, Oh, yeah. Well, as you already know about my biological father, it possessed him, basically. She was right. And, well, because of him being who he is, and he has more than one specific thing, this is a theory that me and basically made. Even though he should have died, he hasn't. And so he became a quirk. So basically it became a quirk, and then it basically I had it. I can't really die because of it. And the reason why I'm not basically corrupted by it is because, well, many things actually. I mean, one thing is I'm too pure for it because I don't give in to. Well, I wouldn't have basically given into it if I had to have a quirk. I know for a fact I would still try to become a hero. But I would have gone through a lot of crap that basically would push me over the edge. But I would still fight through because I would have my mother. So she goes, so it's all because of your determination to basically help out people and want to be a hero? He goes, yep. So that's the reason why, huh? Basically he's like, let me guess, she wants to know? Which basically Momo nods and he goes like, yeah, I mean I may get some, negativity and become evil at some points because of my emotions if I had them. She goes, so the reason why you think you don't have you're not also became corrupted by it is because of your no emotions? He goes like, something like that. I mean, me and I don't really know for sure. It's just theories. I mean, but though he did create his own torture session because of me. But he got used to it. She's like, I think Momo would chuckle a bit. So she goes, so, how long have you had a, well, two? He goes, oh, yeah, those, turns out, for some reason, they gave me a weapon that was only someone that with a pure soul could use. And if it turned black, meant I was not worthy. If it turned blue, it meant I was worthy. And it had 3 high-class seals. 1 for healing, 1 for strength, and 1 for... I forgot which one. He just kind of just chuckles at that. She goes, really? He goes, yeah, it was something about durability or basically prevented me from getting attacked by holy weapons, affected by them, along with basically curses. She goes, that's a high... He goes, yep, high class for heaven. And the other holy weapon was just a previous weapon of Jackie Estacado, along with another darkness weapon. So, he just shrugs. She goes, man, you are OP. He just kind of just grins at that. It was, yeah, I know, I'm awesome. She goes, is that a little bit of basically joy coming to you? He goes, hardy har har. I know I basically sound dead, but come on. She just jokes around. I mean, she just, basically punches his shoulder a bit. She goes, I know. Hold up. Alright. Okay, where was I? Because my dad was coming downstairs. Ah, yes. Basically, Momo hits Suzuka's arm. Basically, like, I'm just joking. He's like, yeah, I know. So, what do you think is going to happen at UA? She goes, hopefully no one's going to be asking me out. I'm hoping for that. Which he's like, oh, great. Let me guess. You're thinking someone's going to ask you out. She goes, probably. And hopefully I don't find out something that I didn't know about. Which Izuku just looks at her with a blank face. Well, blank face. He's like what? Basically she goes, oh, I was already engaged to somebody. That sort of secret that, you should have told someone. He's like, true. Your parents already probably engaged you to somebody. She was, yeah, hopefully it's not that Todoroki guy. Which he's like looking at her, he's like, is he really that bad? She goes, no, it's just he's, how should I say this? He doesn't really have any way to talk to people, and he's obsessed with basically surpassing his father with his ice quirk. Then use both his power, which he goes like, so he's a one-trick pony. Which, ain't good, I'm not ain't good, but basically Momo's like, yeah, you can say that much. Which Izuku just sighs, being like, idiots all around. Basically, Momo goes like, well, at least I ain't an idiot. He just basically pokes her cheek, like, says you. She was, you think of me as an idiot. He was like, you did not train your power as much until I said so. Well, until I said something to you. She was, whatever. Which, he does have a small smile on her face and basically wraps his arm around her and brings her closer to him. And he goes, I'm sorry for being mean. She goes, no, it's true, but still. Which he does basically kiss her forehead. I mean, definitely she's not used to it still. I mean, she's not used to it, then she is used to it, but it's like, she just gets surprised because that was out of nowhere. He just sighs and be like, you know, I can still do something like that even though I don't have emotions that much. But she just nods, but he goes, it was out of nowhere, that's why. He goes, oh, should I have told you? She goes, no, it was a good thing. Thanks. He goes, no problem. So after them just saying like that for basically another 25 minutes, they arrive at UA. Now, what happens here? They get to the class. Bakugo is not basically the same like he would do in canon, so he has his feet down and waiting. Mineta is there, but he just has a book. Tokiyami is there, just being himself. And basically Zuko just smirks. Bakugo sees him, basically goes like, hey, Zuko! Which, basically Mineta looks up along with Tokiyami, looks on over. They both get out of their seat and walking over. Zuko and Momo walk over, basically. Which Zuko goes like, so you guys actually got in? Well, you, Katsuki, was understandable, but Mineta, good job for getting in. Which, Momo never seen Zuko really have much emotion, so seeing him actually smile at this is actually kind of a shocker, but she, even Andros is shocked, but they both are blushing from it. Because, I mean, it's bright. So, yeah. Which, basically, Mineta was like, to be honest, I got into Jodo's studies, and I was actually surprised I even got in. Is that because of my quirk and my, basically, tactics that I use? It was basically, I claimed victory. Which, basically, he looks over to Tokiyami and goes like, it was kind of obvious since I knew you would get in. I was not going to, basically, leave my friend behind. Both of you. He looks over at Mineta, which Mineta basically gives him a thankful smile. Which basically Bakugo was like, well, I knew I was going to get in. But hey, Cammy couldn't get in. She goes, that sucked. Which he goes, yeah. She says she'll be at Shiketsu, though. Which, both Momo and Zuko goes like, well, that's good. Which Mineta just realized, who's she? Which, Izuku says, it's complicated. But Momo pulls his arm closer to her, which Mineta was like, dating. Good for you. Wait, Bakugo, you have a girlfriend? He goes, yes. Huh. I thought you were going to be single forever. Which Mineta walked away, which Bakugo actually looked at him in shock. Tokiyami goes like, agreed. He walks back to his seat, which basically Bakugo was like, what do you mean by that? Which Izuku was like, to be fair, you sometimes still are aggressive. And she goes, carry on. Which basically, which Izuku actually laughs, because it's like, even though he has changed, he cannot help but let his aggression basically, take over. He goes like, it's a side effect of my quirk. I have to be angry most of the time. He goes, oh yeah, or your heart was stuff or something like that, right? He goes, yeah, which he basically knows he's just lying. The whole entire thing. But he never basically, calls him out on it, because it's actually a pretty good thing. I mean, if you really think about it, he basically thinks to himself, that actually could be true. So maybe he is aggressive still, it's just he hides it until he needs to let it out when he's alone. It would make some sense. Whereas even the darkness agrees. So, Momo and Zuko basically take their seats, and Uraraka comes over and thanks them. Basically, she does, wants to ask Zuko something else, but yeah, it doesn't happen because of Aizawa coming in and basically saying, alright, if you're here to make friends, leave. If you're not, put on these basically gym clothes and get out of here and be on the field. Which Uroko's asks about orientation, which Aizawa just says, no, things are done differently. As while he was talking, Izuku, Mineta, Momo, Tokiyami, and Bakugo grabbed their gym clothes and left. Which he just looked. Well, Aizawa looks at all of them and looks over at the class. He goes like, "Be like them, go." Which yeah, they all just leave and get their stuff on. In the locker room, I mean, Izuku's pretty fit. So Kima was saying like, "What did you do? For it?" He's like, "Fight, train, and well, kendo practice." That's it. He was like, "Yes." Hey man, you okay? He's like, "Oh yeah, it's just a side effect of my quirk." She goes, "Seriously?" He goes, "Uh-huh. You sound like, you look like you're emotionless." He's like, it depends, really. I can have emotions for 1 minute, next minute they can be gone. It's alright, though. Which Kimishima was like, hey, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. He was like, you're not afraid of me because of my aura? He goes, oh, you mean that dark, gloomy, depressing darkness aura that, I feel off of you? He was like, yeah. Not really. Which Izuku just look at him, and Larry just pats him on the shoulder, be like, we're friends now. He was like, which Kieran was like, really? He was like, yes. Alright then, Izuku. Oh wait, Midoriya, bro? He goes, Izuku. He goes, Izuku, bro? He's like, bro? He goes, yeah, that's what I call everyone. He's like, alright, Kiri, bro. Which Kirishima just smiles, and basically, him and basically the darkness think, shark. He's a shark boy. So, yeah, everyone else is kind of looking at Izuku, a little bit of fear, well, a little bit of, like, distance, but now they're like, hey, found something, which basically peels off the poster, and there's a hole, which he then closes up, and he goes like, I'll tell Aizawa, I'll get my stuff on, which basically Izuku just nods. Tokiyami just sighed, but like, must have been someone from the previous class. Which Izuku just nods again. He was like, yep. Or it could have been from the girl's side. The poster is over, so it was probably to hide it, or basically keep from the girls to look over. Which Tokiyami, Bakugo, and everyone else in the room kind of think about it like, if that is true, then weird moment. But if it's basically a guy from the previous school, we're like, makes some sense. So yeah, Jiro does not basically stab anybody. She actually put her earphone jack because the hole was there. And she was like, huh, there's someone there. Because they all just left. So Momo does leave, but, she goes as Yukari? So yeah, I've named her Yukari, but then that basically changed her like Ryoku, I think. So, yeah. Ryoku Aizawa. And so, basically, she was out there with the guy waiting for everyone else, while Mina was like talking to the girls, and she decides to be like, "Do they like to waste time?" Which Izuku's like, to be honest, I think they do. Which Mina just sighs along with Tokiyami. Aizawa was like, "You two don't like to wait either," which basically, Mina was like, "To be honest, I'd rather be basically training with you than basically being here, Sensei." Which Tokiyami was like, to be fair, I'd rather take one of your lessons than this. I hate waiting. Because of you. He was like, he basically puts a thumbs up. So the girls finally come out, and basically, I just think of Izuku be like, finally. Not to be rude, but it's like, honest, basically, they were like out there. Momo came out basically like, not even like 5 minutes later after them. So they've been waiting there for like a good 25 minutes, which basically Mia's like, rude much? He was like, do I look like I care? She was, no. He was like, then basically don't say rude. Just basically not Momo, but Mina does not like him already. So he was like, alright then. So, I want all of you basically to know this. If you don't do a good job, I'm expelling any one of you. We're sort of like, what? Moment? And basically Zuko's like, fair enough. Life ain't fair, so this shouldn't be fair. Which is all just nods. He was like, that is right, son. Now, since you basically got first place in the written and basically fighting portion, here you go. Which Zuko catches it. Bakugo is like, I knew it! I knew it was you, Zuko! Basically, angry dog mode activated. He was like, you could have used basically the weapons you got from. But he was like, no, those are not basically supposed to be used out in public. He was like, sure thing, codename Alexander Anderson. He's like, did you really have to make a reference towards a freaking TV show you watched a couple months ago? He was not TV show, YouTube. Well, videos basically, YouTube videos. Which I do not own the name, anything to do with basically YouTube and such, and or basically, what has to do anything to it besides making this video. And I'm just using the name because it's basically, if it was basically could be that basically videos playing, so it could be something similar to YouTube or just name is YouTube, but I'm making a reference towards Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Well, technically that and Hellsing Abridged, but I don't own the anime, the names, nothing, or the characters. So yeah, which basically Izuku goes up and he's like, can I just throw it normally? As I was like, no. He goes, alright. So, Izuku throws it. A little bit of darkness energy was coursing through him. And, makes a pretty decent throw. Like, 2,000 to 35,000 meters. Why do I go from 2,000 to 35,000 meters? Because it's in between. It could be either one of those. Which is, I was like, you didn't throw with all your power. He was like, does it look like I want to cause a massive panic? He goes, fair enough. So yeah, everyone goes and does the ball throw. Uraraka gets infinity. Bakugo gets a little bit better, so I would say 1,569 meters. Momo roughly the same as Izuku, tied for second. So yeah, Todoroki has been watching Rukio, basically. Been trying to figure out why does she look familiar. So yeah. So here's how it goes. Everything will go into canon. Just Zuko's kind of getting first and second place because he doesn't really want to show off much. So last person it was not Mineta since he was trained by Aizawa early. And with Bakugo's help too. It was still Hakaguri. But, she doesn't leave because of basically Aizawa was just joking. Well, basically was lying just to basically prove their strength. Which everyone was just sighing relief. He's like, well, not really. He wasn't really lying. He really would have done it if he didn't see no potential in any one of us. Which everyone just look at Aizawa and he just has a grin. He's like, well, he ain't wrong. Which everyone's actually just like thinking, what type of temperature do we even have? So, yeah, everyone basically gets change and they basically are going to do the same thing as they in canon to tell everyone's their names and their quirks. Everyone's the same in canon. Just Momo, she says hers creation along with light, basically manipulation. Which everyone was like, 2 quirks? She goes, yes. I'm allowed, well, not allowed. I can basically manipulate the light into anything I want, including, use summon it as a weapon. And depends on basically the weapon, I can even combine it with my creation quirk. Which everyone does not understand how that works, but hey. So then it's basically Izuku. He just goes up, he was like, my name is Izuku Aizawa. Which they Rukio Aizawa, he's like, she's adopted. Which everyone's like, really? He's like, yep. Let's just say we're close. That's all, a sibling. as close as people can get, not siblings. Anyways, sorry for if I'm confusing everyone. I'm just technically tired. I didn't really get much sleep last night. So, my quirk is called the Darkness. It gives me an ominous aura, basically making it seem like I'm a villain, like I'm gonna kill you any minute. That's only because it basically is a effect to show the weak and how they're outmatched. Which that kind of surprises everyone. He goes like, it's a passive effect that basically prevents any weaker people to come at me because I don't want to waste someone's life. What I can do with my darkness quirk is basically I have two things that come out of my body, along tendrils that obviously can rip through steel and crush people's bones. Which I just think, like, one person just in the class, like, think, like, what's the two things you can summon? He's like, and then Izuku just grins, and basically all of a sudden the darkness, well, the two creatures' heads come out along the tendrils. He goes, this. Yeah, everyone's freaking out over it. As I was just basically in the sleep bag, just watching, grinning at what Izuku's doing. Basically, Izuku just kind of just chuckles and they just disappear. He was like, what? You scared? He was like, what the hell? Moment. Then he was like, well, you wanted to see? Blame him. He points at Denki, which everyone just looks at Denki. He was like, I didn't know they would be that terrifying. He goes, oh, believe me, they don't terrifying if I want them basically to rip you to shreds. Which, I think just like, but what do you mean by that? He's doing hand job emotions. He's like, I test them out what they can cut through or basically go through. Yeah, they can literally rip through steel in a car. Or should I say, they can cut a car in half. Which everyone's eyes widen. He goes like, but also due to this, I get to have I basically armor on, which I'm not going to show. But I do also have my own little pocket dimension. I have many more, basically, aspects to my quirk. So, yeah, that's all you guys need to know. He just goes down and basically sits. Which everyone just looking at Izuku, kind of wondering who, or basically, what is his quirk really capable of, and who is he? So, I want to say, after that little instant, everything they didn't really do much. And, well, the only thing I can see happening is basically when Izuku's basically walking home with Momo. Basically, and Bako would be there. Because Mineta and Tokiyami wouldn't. I do see Uraraka would ask, basically, if they can join along with Ida. He's like, sure. I don't really mind, don't you, Momo? Not Momo. Ryoku and, Katsuki. Which, basically, they say no. So, basically, Ida would like, so, Aizawa. He's like, yes. Why do you look tired? He was like, oh, well, I have to train my quirk at night because that's when I have full potential. Wait, huh? I was like, it depends on basically night and day. My quirk is weak and then basically in the light, but the thing is, it's still deadly. My basically quirk is more powerful at nighttime, and I don't lose none of the effects of my powers. They said there's a lot more things I can do though when it's night. Which Mr. goes like, that's so cool. But were you treated as a villain? He goes, yes and no. Some people did treat me as a villain, others didn't. But to me, I don't really care. Which is like, which Momo, not Momo, but which Uraraka and Ida are like, not really care because like, I can read people's emotions. That's one of the aspects of my quirk. It gives me the ability to read people's emotions and minds. Which that makes him Ida goes like, that's invasion of people's privacy. He goes like, not if everyone's an open book to me. Which he was like kind of shocked. He's like, listen, you probably think I'm being disrespectful, and I can choose who to read people's minds. And you're feeling a little bit at least scared too, even though you're trying to get close to me as a friend. Don't worry about basically the aura. It's just a natural thing I do. Which he was like, right. My apologies if I seem to be like, nah, it's fine. You're not the worst person I've ever met. Which Ida kind of like nods. So they do walk and talk, and then just like they kind of go their separate ways. So when Izuku and basically Momo arrive at home, basically he goes, "Mom, I'm home." Basically, Eri comes up, be like, "Big brother, big sister." Basically, runs up and hugs their legs. As basically Zuko picks up Eri, like, "So how's my little snowflake doing today?" She's like, "I'm doing good." Basically, Mom's been helping me. And Zuko just kind of smiles and goes, "That's good." So, what I mean by helping Eri, it's learn how she can read and write. So yeah, hold up. Alright, so basically Mom was like, "That's good. So, do you think you'll be able to handle school later? Or do you think you still want to go to, do school online?" She goes, "School online, I'm not ready to basically be around people yet, and the Batman's still out there." Where Zuko nods, he was like, "Uh-huh, he is. But he won't be able to hurt you, I promise." Didn't I? She goes, "Right." So, basically, as Minko comes and she goes, "There you are, Eri." He goes, "Hi, Mama," basically she says, and basically he goes, "Hey, Mom." She goes like, "Izuku, Momo, you're here." Which, basically, they nod. It's like, "So, need me to help, need us to help you cook dinner?" She just smiles and be like, "That'll be lovely." So, yeah, they go and cook dinner and help. Eri does too. And as Al gets home, he's like, "I'm home." Which basically goes, "Hey, Dad, we're in the kitchen." Basically just yelling out. He goes, "Alright." So, he goes and sees them, and he asks Inko how was her day. She goes, "Good." He asks Eri how was her day. She goes, "I'm still learning how to read." He goes like, "Take your time. It takes a while." Well, she nods. So, yeah, everything kind of is going nice. We would cut into where basically Chizaki, aka overall, he's like, "We lost Eri because this man in the weird looking armor. And what were those creatures with him? Or attached to him? They weren't normal. I can't make my bullets without her. I need people to find her." She could be anywhere in the city. It's gonna be a problem. So, yeah, overhaul is literally gonna look for Eri. But the thing is, Inko goes out by herself. Technically, I would say not really, because Mitsuki does come over and sees Eri, helps out. But she goes out with basically Inko. Basically, just in case some stuff. Because they were told about Eri was basically captured. Even Baku was told. And basically, she calls him... Eri basically calls him Boom Boom Boy. Which basically he's like, ah. Which Suzuka was laughing when she says that. He's like, "Boom Boom Boy." She goes, "Boom Boom." Basically, hold out her hand. Basically, doing that. He's like, "Huh." So he basically goes like, flexes his hand a bit. As then it's like his quirk activates. He goes like, "Okay, Boom Boom is basically my quirk. Got it." Which, basically, yeah. So, the next day, heroes versus villains. We do have everyone just talking and chatting until Zawa gets in. And he goes, "Alright, brats, here's the thing. I'm not your teacher. He's coming in soon." Yeah. Basically, Izuku can hear who it is. He's like, "Huh. Big? Loud? Yep. It's All Might." He thinks to himself. So yeah, when All Might comes in, he goes like, "Look at me, coming in like a normal person." Then he goes like, Izuku literally says, "Lame." Which everyone just looks at him, Izuku's just grinning. Which basically All Might just laughing. It's like, alright then, Yonaizawa. That's alright. Which everyone's just like, wondering about, wait a minute, huh? Because they didn't know Izuku knew Aizawa. I mean, they didn't know Izuku knew All Might. So he was like, so, how you doing, All Might? He goes, I'm doing well. How are you doing? He was like, perfectly fine. And this one, All Might doesn't have his injury because Izuku healed him. I just didn't put it in, but it's like a couple of years has passed and he healed him. So basically, he still has one for all. He's like, right now, here are your hero costumes. And so Izuku's hero costume, everyone's in Canon's hero costume. Momo just has a little bit more of, I would say, normal clothing on. Basically, she doesn't have her canon outfit because it's like, she would technically have it, but it's like, she just has a few more to it. Like, she has like pants and such, and I think she would have like a little bit more of a, instead of red, probably change it to a little more of a lighter color and such. So yeah, just the only things I think that would just change was just pants and basically something to keep some things hidden. So like probably a cape or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. But right now, just canon outfit for her, just with just pants. Basically, they have holes in it. So with Izuku, jackass staccato look. Trench coat, shirt, pants. Basically, just the only thing that is different is boots. And he does have his gun holsters. Which, basically, when he walks through, everyone just sees him. Basically, like, I just think, like, well, Ojiro will be like, that's your hero costume? He was like, you're wearing a freaking karate outfit. You're gonna judge me? Which, I just think, like, dude, you like you're from the Mafia. Which is who's like, yeah, I have a hero outfit. I just chose something that would be way more inconspicuous. Remember the armor I told you guys about? Which you're like, oh. Which was, yeah. So, yeah, basically, everything's chosen at random. And the teams are, Momo Uraraka, Mina and, actually, canon team with Mina. Just Deku is basically, is him and Denki. Well, basically, she has Mineta. And the most surprising thing is, like, I'm just gonna say this. When basically they went, Mineta literally was planned, was basically her to use her quirk to basically see where they are. And basically he would try to basically use his quirk to basically trap them. So we can basically try to lead them into a trap while he, had a whole entire room set up with a trap. Which just was all the balls around the room, so when they basically hit something, it's going to be one of them. And it worked. For one person, and then the other one, Jiro's quirk came to effect. Basically, they sent someone launching, made out for basically them to trap them, and they basically won. So yeah, basically, yeah, as I said, Deku and Ojiro, while the villain team, Hiroshima and Ida. So basically, Ojiro was asking him, so, do you have a plan or something? He was like, yeah, I can basically, locate the bomb, and then we'll just go right there where the floor is. And then basically whoever fights, basically I would say you to do it. He goes, huh? He goes, I'll basically try to support you. He's like, oh. thanks. He's like, no problem. So basically, when it's their time to start, Izuku basically goes on a knee, and one of the heads starts slithering off, basically, as it looks through basically the building. Well, not outside the building, I mean, and they find the bomb area. And it's on the top floor. As it comes back, he goes like, alright, it's on the top floor. Which he's like, how did you? He was like, I can see through the eyes of the creature. Which is like, cool. So, basically they go into the building, and yeah, Kirishima comes in to fight. Ojiro basically is fighting Kirishima while Izuku literally is doing support. From a tendril out, or basically takes apart the building and throws at Kirishima, which he blocks, but then Ojiro comes in and hits him. So they do work very well together, and they were able to take out Kirishima. Which he says, Kirishima is out. Which Ida just, was shot by, and literally just, I would say, he doesn't know what Izuku can do, so he's basically trying to be cautious and prepared. I mean, he does basically also get into a room which Ito does try to use reciprocal burst right away, but Tendril just catches his leg and holds him, basically, and the arm just suspends him in midair, when basically he just looks at him, he's like, is that it? He's yes, which, yeah, Ojiro and him were able to win. He was like, wow, that was easy. He goes, wasn't really that hard. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make this long, everyone. It's just because it's like 3-something. I want this to upload, and I'm tired. So hopefully you understand. I will probably make not this one long. So yeah. But anyways, so the whole entire instance in the cafeteria with Monomon when he hits Izuku, will tell just go like this. When he basically Momo tries to hit Izuku, a tendril comes out and catches his hand, which Izuku's not even looking. He goes like, "So, you wanted to try to hit me? All right." Basically, Izuku turns around and looks at Momo, which Momo, she's like, "What the?" He goes, "Oh, don't mind my quirk." So, why were you trying to hit me? He goes, because you're from Class 1A, which Izuku just reads arrogance. He's like, alright, are you mad you couldn't get in? He was like, no. He was like, yes, you are. Which mom was just looking at him with a little bit of anger. He's like, so what if I am? He goes, it's fine. Got in Class 1B, though, so shouldn't you be happy by that? Which basically Momo doesn't really want to answer, but he knows he should. But it's like, he was, anyways, you're about to be knocked out by some girl with orange hair. He goes, huh? Some girl, and as in he gets knocked out by Kendo. She goes, sorry about that. He goes, like, it was no problem. So, yeah. That's how it went. The alarm does go off like in canon. And Ida does still, tell them everyone to move around in a organized line, which Izuku on the way back to the closet was like, they're supposed to be the future heroes. And they panic over an alarm? How pathetic. Which even basically the darkness can agree, but Momo, or not Momo, well, yeah, no. Rikyo, okay, Momo was just not in agreement. Ida and basically Araka are just like thinking, how can he say that, basically? But then they kind of rethink it, and they go like, yeah. Makes sense for them, basically, to say that. So, then when they get to the room, they do technically still have to really choose which one to be a class president and then vice president. And I want to say this, because Momo didn't want to become class president, and basically Zuko says, don't vote for me, I'm not basically want to have that responsibility. So they vote for Ida, and then I want to say Araka. Yeah, she basically says she doesn't know if she can do it properly, but she'll try her best, which Ida says, well then, if you don't basically know what to do, I'll help you. As much as I can, Araka. She goes, thanks, Ida. He just says, no problem. So, after that, I mean, do I want to go to the USJ? Decisions. Not right now. We're gonna go to the League of Villains, where Shigaraki is like, Doctor, is it done yet? Where she was like, yes, Shigaraki, it is done. He goes, good. So, what is this creature, this thing that you made? He goes like, it's called a Nomu, Shigaraki. I use basically the dead body parts of people mixed with it with quirk basically to bring it some life to it. I also been using some strange parts that I don't know understand where they came from. I never seen anything like it. Which basically Shigaraki's like, who knows, Doc? It was just some new basically gene going around or something, I don't know. Which basically the doctor just nods. So Shigaraki does leave the lab and tell him he'll be back, when the thing's ready, which he does. It's alright then, Shigaraki. So, okay, ignoring that. My hand slipped on it. So basically, we do see Shigaraki go back to the bar. He's like, Kirigiri, can you get me something to drink? He's like, right away, master. So, Shigaraki is basically trying to think of how he's going to destroy All Might and what he should do, basically, which Kirigiri is like, so, young master, have you decided? He goes, I think I have. I decide on how we're going to get some new recruits when needed. But it's going to be difficult. Which, basically, Kirigiri was like, yes, sir. I understand. So, yeah. So, after that, basically we're just going to have, basically, the USJ, which will be the next day. So, I want to say this. They are basically heading home after a day of school and the training. Which Izuku basically was like, okay, do I really have to go out tonight again? Which, basically Black Light, not Black Light, but the darkness says, no, we can basically rest for the night. But it's time for you basically to hang out with your girlfriends. He's like, yeah, I get it, movie night. He goes, horror movies. He goes, alright. So he basically goes over to Momo, who's like, so, do you want to watch a movie? She goes, uh-huh. He goes, horror movie? She goes, hack and slash? It was, alright. Basically a classic. She goes, maybe. Show me. So basically she basically sees a figure basically in a cloak outfit that's black, weird looking mask. She's like, not this one. Basically, she goes through it until she gets to a hockey mask guy. She goes, yep, this one. And, yeah, they say just watch it for the night. So, that is it, everyone. I am sorry for basically a short video. It's just, like, I am tired, and I think I'm not going to be able to think that much. So, I am going to basically probably make a part 3 later. And besides, I want to basically focus on the USJ separately, because I'm going to have Izuku do some training in his mind in part 3. So, yeah. I hope you guys liked this video. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and enjoy basically your day, and and all that. So, bye everyone.